And a good morning and welcome to the final day of the 2018 UANA Junior Pan American Championship here at the Long Center in Clearwater, Florida. It's the men's bronze medal match. Canada taking on Argentina. John Abdu and Greg Meskel joining you here as the third place game is underway. Canada in the white caps, Argentina in the dark. Canada coming off of a loss to Team USA yesterday, tried to rally back in that one, unable to get all the way back, and then Argentina overwhelmed by Brazil, and that finds these two here in this third place game. John, one positive already. They're both assured of qualification for the Junior Worlds here, finishing in the top four.
Right, Greg. We talked this week about having multiple goals as a team coming into this tournament. Goal number one, qualify for Junior World Championships next summer. Goal number two, win while you're doing that. And so that's what this game's about. Both teams have qualified, but can you walk away with a bronze medal? Can you win your last game and get on an airplane home with some pride and some hardware?
And this is another game that will be an uphill battle for Argentina. Canada, the favorite coming into this one.
Yes, but as we saw last night and through the week, Argentina has some very talented players. Very talented players that can get some things done. Number 11, Augusto. Petrocelli, number 12. We saw Thomas Gini, number 2, score several goals through the week. So you have some guys who can really put the ball away. So can they get some stops on the defensive end and keep Canada from running away from this?
Final day of action here at the UANA Junior Pan American Championship. 4 more games to go, including this one. See an exclusion here. This will go against Argentina and Octavio. And a power play here for Canada. But coming up next, we'll see the USA women finish out their competition against Puerto Rico in the de facto bronze medal game as Canada is on the board. Here first, Bogdan Jurkovic able to connect on the power play. And we'll see USA Puerto Rico, and then we'll get into the gold medal games. First the women, then the men to close things out. USA men vying for gold as we see a second look here.
Good pass from D'Souza inside of Jurkovic. Clean play. Jurkovic been dominating the middle of the pool all week long. Strong center play, usually translate to strong post play on 6-on-5 as we see there.
And Coach Brian Perillo for Canada, happy with the early results here. Pressure against this Argentinian squad as they try and work on offense. You see Canada really stretching them out here, and now things headed the other way. And that's a contra. Ball will turn over back to Canada. Canada with Andre Vlasic starting again in goal. That was a storyline from yesterday. They brought in Brody McKnight late in that game against Team USA. He really ignited that Canada rally.
Absolutely.
Shot attempt here stopped by Salas in the cage for Argentina.
That was one of those classic examples, Greg, of a team making the goalie switch and it really paying off and changing the momentum and the tempo of the game.
Dangerous pass there as D'Souza patrols. It'll stay with Argentina. And Argentina will dump it aside as the shot clock was set to expire, trying to limit those opportunities for the Canada counter.
That really makes the difference in these junior events as well, Greg. Not every country, not every team here has been able to train in a 30-meter course this long.
Inside. And we'll see a penalty called. Canada worked inside. Argentina coming from behind. Augusto, the guilty party.
And again, that's Jurkovic. He's drawn an exclusion, scored the goal on the following power play, and now has drawn a penalty. Just goes to show how important your centers are.
And this will give a chance to Raul D'Souza. And hits. Goalie guessed the wrong direction. D'Souza cashes in. Quick 2-0 lead for Canada. And Argentina will call for time. Coach Gabriel looking to discuss things here after a 2-0 start for the opponent as D'Souza hits on the penalty. Under 5 to play in the first quarter. And we talked about the idea of coming back to go for that third place trophy,
right,
the bronze medal, after losing a game that you were in. And that's kind of the spot Canada was in. Argentina really wasn't ever in that game against Brazil, but Canada had the rally going against Team USA, trying to work their way back in, coming up just short of now, have to kind of get up for a game that they're expected to win again, and they've come out a bit more motivated than you might expect given for any team coming off of a loss like that. It's hard to get excited again for that third-place game.
No doubt. And I think in a for any team in any sport in any of these situations, that third-place game really comes down to mental toughness. It comes down to heart, comes down to grit, and how much pride you have in yourself. And these teams have traveled many miles to be here. So what is that travel home going to be like? And can you finish on a win? And that's what today's about. And I think Canada likes their matchup here against Argentina, but we'll see how the game goes on as Argentina, off the timeout, running a set piece.
Officials in this one, Mr. Dermengian from the United States, Mr. Araujo from Brazil. As we get near the halfway mark of this first quarter. Argentina, as you said, with a set play coming out of the timeout, and it results in a long-distance try that's off the mark. Manuel trying from distance. Canada now on the attack. Patience here as they set up a double post look. They've got two bruising centers they've been comfortable working with and working for. Dobic now in. They go outside, rebound in front, and Dobic nearly getting a hand on that one. It'll go back to Argentina.
Good stop there, good save from Argentina. Octavio Salas in the goal. He's going to see a lot of shots. The more saves he can get like that, the more Argentina can stay in this game. Let's see if they can break through and get their first goal. Augusto inside.
Here's a nice move. Working towards and drawing the exclusion. Goes against Believ. And a power play here for Argentina. Best early chance here to get on the board with 3:36 to play. They missed a chance early there in the exclusion.
Augusto draws the exclusion and then wide open inside on the post. They missed the pass there.
And then the easy save for Vlasic. And we talk about rosters developing, players trying to get better.
Yeah.
That felt like an inexperienced move there where
Absolutely.
You've drilled probably a lot to, we draw the exclusion, what do we do? Let's set it up 6-on-5 without recognizing the opportunity.
There's no doubt, Greg. That was something I'm sure they've practiced hundreds of times and just didn't execute right when in the game situation. You can practice all you want, but if there's no practical application of what you're doing, it's not going to be good for your competitiveness.
And I'm sure you saw that in your coaching days as well. Younger players get into that mode of just setting up the power play as opposed to identifying the immediate chances.
Yeah, and you always want to tell your athletes in water polo to attack quickly on 6-on-5. If you've created an advantage, the best time to attack is right away. And Argentina in that situation, if they had attacked right away, would have had an easy goal or a really high percentage chance, at least in front of the cage. And it's hard because especially younger athletes, they feel like they want to run the play, or you hear a lot of times coaches yelling, patience, patience, as Canada draws the exclusion inside as well.
It's an exclusion there against Levac for Argentina. And a power play now coming for Canada. They'll call for time with 2:13 to play in the first quarter, ahead 2-0. You're right, you hear that, right? Set it
Always.
up, set it up,
set
patience, patience, set it up, right? And if you're a player, you've had that drilled into your head,
right.
You're thinking, well, it's not my job to try and shoot this ball right now, even though it is,
right.
I got to set it up.
I actually think so. Then we talked about the players being young and that being a byproduct of young athletes. I think that's a byproduct of coaching, right? And I think young coaches or inexperienced coaches, they'll scream that a lot. I know, funny story, one of my first coaching jobs at Burbank High School, at the end of the season, the athletes and the parents gave me a caricature of myself and I was yelling patience, with like a little think bubble on top of my head saying patience. And I look back at that, I was 20-something years ago now, and thinking I probably shouldn't have been screaming that, right? Depending on the circumstance. But for them to say that was a quote that I was saying all the time, that's probably a bad thing. Because when you say those things like patience or set it up, what you're doing is you're taking the free will away of the athlete, right? They can no longer think for themselves. They can no longer think and read and see the play as it comes. And what you want is the athletes, especially on 6-on-5, as we watch Canada go, is to be able to read it on their own.
some of this stuff happens too quick. You have to let the read and react play out.
Absolutely. A lot of coaches are guilty of joysticking, right? And trying to play the game for their athletes themselves.
Stop there by Salas on the big rise up from Jerkovic. He's turned away. Good defense there from Argentina, killing off the power play under 1:45 to go in the first.
Argentina hanging tough, Greg. I mean, that's a big power play stop off the timeout from Canada. They just got to get some goals in the back of the net here. Try to get Augusto involved. Clearly one of the most talented players in this tournament on Argentina. Got to get him the ball.
And we say it so often about going up against a team that on paper you're supposed to lose to. Looking for a shot try here with the shot clock expiring. But this applies to all sports. The longer you can drag this out where you're still in the game, it only bodes well for the underdog. They build more confidence. You start to let the one who's favored maybe think twice about things. And
absolutely.
So far so good through a first quarter here. Although trouble right now. Easy does it. On the interior passing. Nicely done from Henning to Jerkovic, and the soft put away.
Just like any sport, Greg, you love to see when multiple people are involved in a goal. Watch the replay here. Inside water. Could definitely take the shot himself. Unselfishly passes it to his teammate. Jerkovic slams it home. So far, the man of the match. Jerkovic drawing exclusions, drawing penalties, scoring goals, doing it all for Canada.
3-0 lead with 1:03 to play in the first. Ordinary. Little soft lob inside, and the redirect is there for Argentina and Petroselli. Beautifully done.
Great look there for Argentina. You see number 10, the lefty, Manuel, taking care of the ball and sending up his teammates, Petroselli. Look at this, off the foul. Looks like he's going to get up and shoot it instead. Little backdoor action, redirect goal. Argentina breaks the drought, gets their first goal of the game with under a minute left here in the first.
And you can see frustration on the face of Alexander LaRoche on Canada. All it took was one look the wrong way, and that created the separation that Petroselli needed. Shot clock to 5 here for Canada. And a stop made by Salas on the release from the outside. Cote has that big arm for Canada, but Salas was ready, and now the shot clock is off. Just 10 seconds left here in the first.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cote, even though he missed that shot, he's got that big arm, big shot. If he found his way into the NCAA system here in America or has a nice future with Canada, good shooters are at a premium in our sport, and Cote's got a good shot.
And that's all for the first quarter. As Canada jumps out to a 3-1 lead over Argentina, we will take a timeout and return with the second. You're watching the UANA Junior Pan American Championship live from Clearwater, Florida, here on USA Water Polo TV.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
Second quarter sprint controlled by Canada. Thanks for tuning in here on a Sunday morning. We're only going up against the World Cup final, so I'm sure folks have wisely split their screens.
If anybody's doing that right now, if you're split screening between the World Cup final and the bronze medal match at Junior World Championships, please send us a pic on
Seriously,
Facebook or YouTube. Would love to see that.
Yeah, tweet us a photo at USAWP. That'd be great to see someone set up there with maybe a stream on the tablet and the World Cup on the TV, or however you have it set up.
Sure. And it's only the World Cup final once every 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Not a huge deal.
Heavy water polo presence over there with Croatia involved, and a lot of articles about the Croatian fans.
Yeah.
The water polo cap has become the vuvuzela of this year's World Cup, the thing to bring to the game if you're a Croatian fan.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for our sport, right, Greg? I mean, it gives us attention and some exposure that normally we wouldn't get. Ooh, big shot outside.
Score that goal for Canada and D'Souza, another guy with a big arm.
Big arm, playing professionally overseas last season. One of Canada's top prospects they're developing here on the junior side. Frees himself up and catch and shoot. We always talk about, Greg, the catch and shoot. Not waiting, not faking, just getting on your legs and getting a strong shot. Skips it home. Souza with a nice goal.
And a 4-1 lead for Canada, early stages here of the second bronze medal match here of the UANA Junior Pan American Championship. Great week of water polo coming to a close here in Clearwater, Florida. The exclusion here against Canada. LaRoche going off 6-on-5 to Argentina. Patience on the attack, running low on the advantage, and good defense from Canada. The tip away. Argentina will recover, and they'll have to stop here. The shot clock was reset. Ball's coming out now.
Yeah, it looks like calling a penalty shot as 6 wasn't waved in early. LaRoche, yeah, talk about inexperienced move there, right?
It's interesting. Yeah, I caught the white flag out of the corner of my eye. He must have been in a beat early there.
Yeah. Looks like he beat it in quick. Some water polo rules, right? If you have to be waved in by the desk at the end of your exclusion. If you come in early, it's a penalty shot, and then another exclusion against you. So LaRoche now has 2 fouls against him. You only allowed 3. Really only allowed 2. On your third, you're done for the game. And now we'll see the shooter I mentioned earlier, Tomas Gini.
It's a big chance here to cut this in half. Officials now conferring with the table. I thought the shot clock reset and they were going to pull that out because it was a deflection and maybe still Argentina's possession.
That's right. That's right.
Mr. Araujo, the official from Brazil, discussing with the table.
Looks like the delegate on the game, Manuel de Jesus of Puerto Rico.
And we'll have a discussion here now.
And Jim Cullingham of USA. They'll have a sidebar clarifying the situation.
And this is always one of the interesting things about international water polo tournaments, and it goes across other sports too. We talk about teams trying to gel. You have officiating crews that don't work together hardly ever. They don't know each other.
Ever.
All that often, maybe in passing here and there. Some know each other better than others. And you've got to come together, and you have to work as a unit effectively and efficiently in some fairly important matches.
And here, add to this, right? 2 of those people in the picture speak English. One of them doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? So how's that working out right now? So you talk about this, and even as you're watching the World Cup or any of these high-level international sports, when you have referees,
Olympic
officials,
games,
delegates, Olympics, all these people coming in from around the world, they may not be able to all speak the same language. So it does take extra conversation to kind of figure things out.
6:15 to go, second quarter, 4-1 lead for Canada. John Abdu, Greg Meskel here with you from Clearwater, Florida, in the Tampa Bay area.
Still looking for that shot of a double screener. If you got any World Cup updates, you can tweet at us, get us on the Facebook comments, YouTube comments. Let us know what's going on as you're watching a good water polo match and arguably the biggest sporting event of the year.
Yeah, that is a fair statement to say when you consider the entire world.
Mm-hmm. The conversation continues here. Taking a little longer than I think most would hope. Athletes trying to keep themselves warm and moving.
Seems like they've come to an understanding. And we will soon have an answer here. Great look at the entire course from our crew.
Beautiful facility here at the Long Center in Clearwater, Florida. It's a gorgeous indoor facility here. See all the palm trees outside. Beautiful area. Great place to have the event. I think everyone's really enjoyed their time here.
So all of that discussion leaves us where we were. It's a penalty. Argentina will get the shot. Here's Ginny. And he hits. And it's a 4-2 game with 6:15 left. So uncertain what was said, but it was confirmed that the penalty shot would be taken. And Argentina, the recipient.
So a couple things there. You see Genie winds up, buries it in the low corner. Talented shooter from Argentina. So two things happen, right? You get the penalty shot. It's a 4-2 game now, but now LaRouche on Canada with two personal fouls against him. Next one he's done for the game. So that this could come back, Greg, to be a big story in this game.
Definitely.
What has happened here early in the second quarter.
Provided Argentina can keep this close, personnel could be a key topic in the second half. 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Good move to work inside. Drawing three, and that's a crowd. Argentina with a near steal, and the rebound swatted away. Good defense from behind. Credit Petroselli. He was beat momentarily and then came from behind to salvage that.
Good hustle play. Now you see both teams got a little bit of a rest because of the break with the referees, and now you see a lot more whitewater in the swim-in and some energy out there.
Little spin here. Arms up, no call. Explosion towards the cage and hits.
Wow.
4-3. Augusto worked his way past the defender, Believ, and then hit.
What a move. Goes the reverse turn, and the defender just leaves him. Leaves one of the best players in the tournament wide open at 5 meters and buries the shot.
Had all day to get up big on that.
Defensive breakdown. That's not the guy you want to leave open. You get a good look at Augusto out of the water. Big, strong athlete. Long arms. All right, moves well in the water.
Seems to be moving a little slow and gave the signal that he needed a sub, but a high five as he emerges. And Argentina right there. So you talked about it, the swings, a penalty shot, an extra foul on one of Canada's key players. Then you tack on another goal, and we've got a one-goal game here with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Backdoor, in front lob, on point. A missed assignment for Argentina. Believ, redemption. He got beat on the previous play, let an offensive player go by him, comes back with the lob.
You like to see that for athletes. Young athletes figure that out. Believ, you see the tail end of his lob shot in on the inside water play. Gives one up, gets one back. Canada maintains a 2-goal lead.
It's where some coaches, and it comes from the hockey world, but the plus-minus of when you're out there, what are you giving up or what are you giving? And a break-even stretch right there for Believ. Now Canada reinvigorated here on defense. Heavy pressure. Bad pass inside. Too much traffic to thread that needle. Cote able to knock it away.
Argentina's going to have a tough time scoring goals if they can't get Augusto back in this game playing heavy minutes. They need him to create some offense, and the offense is going to continue to get pushed out that far, you're going to see lots of turnovers.
On the other end, D'Souza right back. And after that, a timeout called by Argentina because they know this was just a 4-3 game. Now they allow 2 straight, the last coming here.
Well executed 6-on-5 counterattack for Canada. You see him coming through. Good, proper structure. Frees up D'Souza for the shot. Winds up the big arm and buries it cross cage. Good combination for D'Souza there. Long arms, athleticism, the ability to put the ball away, can swim well in the water. Again, what you're seeing here, Greg, are these young athletes. I keep referencing D'Souza, Jerkovic. We mentioned Augusto on Argentina. As junior level athletes, these are people that these federations are hoping will eventually become Olympians and represent their country at the highest levels at the World Championships, Olympic Games. So this could be some of the seedlings of that.
This is all part of that pipeline process. USA Water Polo calls it the Olympic Development Program. Whatever you call it in other countries, similar ideas. You're identifying talent, giving them opportunities. Ideally, they are getting the preparation, the experience necessary to become an Olympian or a senior national team athlete. Absolutely. If your team doesn't qualify.
That's right. Obviously, we talk about the Olympics as being the pinnacle, but so many other senior level competitions that are part of that. You know, representing your country in a hemispheric championship like this, like a UANA, right? Are you the best in the Pan American area? Are you one of the best in the world competing at a world championship? Several events in the year to be able to test where you're at.
Well, we saw it earlier today, the first game of the day. Barbados had not appeared in an event like this in more than a decade. So
right.
For them to be here, as Argentina comes right back and Manuel connecting from the outside, but for even Barbados to attend an event like this, that's monumental.
Yeah, again, everybody has their own goals in this as you watch Manuel. Augusto setting him up with the pass. Heavy zone from Canada. He's wide open, gets lots of time. And the lefty fakes and puts it away across cage. Monumental achievement for Barbados. You know, more than a decade having competed at a tournament like this. Can they develop the sport on their island? From talking to their federation, this was an easy trip for them to make from Barbados to Tampa, a little bit closer than some of the trips they've had to make in the past. And you know, they walk away with kind of essentially the participation trophy, meaning being their top goal. Whereas some other countries will have different metrics they'll use for success this week.
For example, we know we have Argentina fans watching the raucous celebration from the Argentina women last night.
Right.
It was all time.
All time.
As they were able to win the last game last night against Puerto Rico. And dancing in the on the pool deck. So you see a look inside, keeper out, and a takeaway by Canada outside, firing air horns. There was a dance party in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That was just pure elation.
Yeah. And that was the proverbial mega bowl for yes. Argentina finishing in fourth place here. But fourth place here means they will qualify for the World Championship next year. That's why they came here. They came here to qualify so they can compete with the best in the world next summer.
Yeah. There'll be no giant check from Jackie Moon, but they do get an opportunity to move on.
I really appreciate the Flint Tropics reference, as I consider myself the Jackie Moon of USA Water Polo.
We're just waiting for your first R&B single to come out.
Absolutely. I will be wrestling a bear at halftime of the gold medal game later today.
Shot clock about to expire, and they'll dump it aside. Argentina will take control with a little more than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Exclusion. Jerkovic departing for Canada. Argentina trying to draw within one once again. And they do. Wow. On the skip from the outside, Levac hitting.
Big time possession for Argentina. Cut the lead to 1 with 1:30 left on the player advantage. Good structure. They move from a 4-2 into a 3-3, slide out, and they create space for Levac and skips it right over the keeper's head. Big play to keep that momentum, to keep the game close. Argentina looking for some hardware here in Florida.
Trophies are out, medals are out here on the pool deck. Medal ceremony following our final game here today. We'll have that for you live here as well. Quick redirect. Ooh. Canada answers right back. Henning, catch and release.
Got a quick answer from Canada, from Henning. That's deflating for Argentina. But you see D'Souza with the ball. He's the one making the play. Finds himself. Augusto actually just leaves too much space inside for Henning to make that happen. And for Team Canada, D'Souza involved in almost every goal that they've scored. You can tell he's their playmaker. He's the leader out there for them. Argentina's going to have to take notice.
Yeah, he's a facilitator in a major way. On the other end, a tip out. Now they'll say no. Look to me as if Vlasic got a piece of that, but not the case.
He wasn't live. Augusto was not live.
Well, there you go. So he did get a piece of it, but yeah. He was not live and could not start. On the other end, on the counter. Defense there, Argentina. And Salas able to gather.
Lots of goals in this first half, Greg. 12 goals total. Both teams putting it away, especially Argentina after the slow start. Didn't get their first goal till under a minute left in the first, so starting to find their rhythm if they can keep getting stops. Let's see another exclusion on Canada here.
And it is. Morris departing. Power play to Argentina. Time winding down here in this first half. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds left. Down to 6. Argentina working and hitting. A 1-goal game once more. Manuel back at it. It's 7-6.
Great execution from Argentina. They move the ball around. Proper structure. Ball moves to the 1 position, high in the pocket. Wraps near side. Beats the blocker, beats the keeper. 4 seconds away from keeping us at a 1-goal game. See if Argentina can get one more stop.
D'Souza, final moments. And field blocked away. That's all for the first half. A strong showing from Argentina as they have rallied back. Canada leads 7-6 in this bronze medal match here at the UANA Junior Pan Ams. We will take a timeout and return with the third quarter. You're watching live on USA Water Polo TV.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach. is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
Third quarter underway in the bronze medal match of the UANA Junior Pan American Championship. Canada and Argentina, we have a good one through 2 quarters. It's a 7-6 lead for Canada. Joined by John Abdu, Greg Meskel here with you from the Long Center in Clearwater, Florida. Final day of action at this tourney. We're into the medal round. USA women to follow against Puerto Rico. Then the women's gold medal match. Little spin inside here, off the bar. Couldn't connect in close. That was Jerkovic. The following USA women versus Puerto Rico. We'll then have the gold medal match for the women's competition, Brazil-Canada, and then the gold medal match for the men's competition, Brazil and Team USA. Closing things out, that'll start around 4:40 p.m. Eastern. Offensive is the call. And Canada has subbed their goalie once again to start this second half. Brody McKnight comes on, and it's a more traditional substitute than what we saw yesterday where he came in the midst of action. Meanwhile, Cote, chase from behind, goes into Jerkovic, creates so much space, but what a stop from Salas.
Salas with a big stop and a smile on his face. That's a big stop. You don't want to go down 2 this early. Big stop. Let's see what Argentina can do now on offense. You see number 12 in there, setting up at 2 meters. Teddy Petroselli for the turnover.
Canada on the attack. These first 4 or 5 minutes really huge here in this third quarter. Is Argentina for real here? Can they continue to stay afloat, or can Canada try and rebuild that lead? Cote, the big wind up wide of the net.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Popovich talks about it all the time. First 3 minutes of the third quarter. How are you coming in out of halftime? What adjustments did you make? Are you making them present? Are you executing right away? See if Argentina can tie this game.
Ginny from the outside. He'll look inside now. Shot clock to 6. And they'll dump it aside. Argentina not rushing anything. If they don't have it, they've tossed it aside. D'Souza, full head of steam. He had some inside position. Instead, they'll go far side. Now they work for him. He looked for a foul, didn't get it. Triple team, then throws it away. Lifetime sub here for Argentina.
Looks like 2 of them.
Yeah, they're going to get a couple here.
Yeah, that's a lost possession. Now they're going 4v6 with the ball in hand.
That's typically a fitness thing more than anything else.
No doubt.
Long week of high-level water polo. Might be running out of gas here a little bit in the second half.
That's accurate, Greg. But it kills the possession. But at least not getting countered the other way. They got some fresh bodies in, so that's the trade-off.
No, a lot of this strategy is live to play another possession and,
Correct.
And not allow a counter, not allow a big goal. LaRoche, here's D'Souza. Gives a sign to calm things down. They work for Jerkovic. The step out and the score. And that has been there really all week long for Jerkovic. He has done an excellent job of setting up position, and if it's one-on-one coverage, it's been trouble for every team in this tourney.
Yeah, but check out D'Souza. He's got the ball in his hand, tells the driver to go, and then no looks the entry pass inside. Freezes the defense, puts it away. He's facilitated goals. He's scoring goals. Arguably having the best game of the tournament so far for D'Souza.
Now, we saw that Jerkovic replay there. He went back hard before that pass came in. For the younger folks that are watching this, there's a fine line there, right? Without clearing out too much space and committing an offensive before you can ever get that pass, which if he turns it over, right, you ruin everything else that was going on there, the drive through, the direction, all of it.
No doubt. Oh. This could be a rough sequence for Argentina as number 3, Mateus, excluded on the counterattack. Timeout Canada now. They get to set up a player advantage with a 2-goal lead and 4:20 left here in the third.
And this could be a breaking point moment here in this third quarter, to your point, with a timeout called. You played center. We talk about that previous possession with Jerkovic.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance to get your space but to not be too over-aggressive? And I'm sure part of it is who's calling the game too.
That's part of it, but you want to teach young centers and centers in general to go directly to the ball. Right? You want to teach them the ball's coming in and they want to make a hard snap and go to the ball. As long as the motion and the energy that you're exerting is going towards the ball, you're in a good place, because any of those backwards movements, it's just like basketball, right? You watch a lot of post players posting up under the basket, and you'd see a guy like Karl Malone is great at pull the chair out from underneath him, right? Move,
sure.
And all of a sudden now you're out of bad position. So as long as you're going towards the ball, if the defense wants to take that away from you, you're making it very clear to the referee that they should call an exclusion. And if the defense leaves you alone, then you've gone straight to the ball and you're in a position to score. So you want destiny in your own hands. So centers should learn to go directly to the ball.
On the advantage here out of the timeout, Canada gets back to work. Cote controlling near side. Shot clock under 10. D'Souza holds it high. Off the post, rebound controlled, and Argentina hangs in defensively. That is a pivotal moment here halfway through this third. Could have been a 3-goal lead now for Canada.
Yes, Argentina with a big stop there. We talked about this game was 7-6 to start the third quarter. Argentina gets the first goal. It's a different story here, and so all these defensive stops are going to be crucial. Let's see if Augusto and Petrocelli and some of these others can start putting some goals in for Argentina.
Shot clock about to expire, and they are out of time. Won't get a shot off here. And McKnight will lead the counter now. Canada has Dobbich trailing the play, so not going to have the advantage here, and they'll regroup. Glode. D'Souza trying to break free. And over-aggressive there defensively from Argentina. And a power play coming for Canada as Augusto is excluded.
Augusto better get to that box quick. He's taking his time. I wonder if he's really hurting, Greg. He's got some tape on his back.
And the goal is there for Canada. A 9-6 lead after the power play. And you called it, John. He has still not made his way to the corner as we see a second look here on the 6-on-5.
Cote, we talked about him. Big arm. Wind up, catch, and shoot. But who set him up? D'Souza again. Involved in every play. He's the facilitator. The ball's in his hands. Doing it all. Then Cote showing that arm we referenced earlier. Big arm, big shot.
Timeout called by Argentina. And add to D'Souza, he did a nice job. Took Augusto, lured him into a bit of a lockup, and then we had to make a move that drew the exclusion. He goes off 6-on-5.
And converting these power plays is always the difference in these games, Greg, right? We've done in so many water polo games together and watched so many of these over the years, and what you execute on your power plays, on your player advantages, on offense, and how many stops you get on defense, that's usually the story of the game right there.
Yeah, so often coaches will look at that number.
Yeah.
Say, all right, how many do we have? What do we convert? And it's not always a recipe for victory, but you can certainly look at it if you lose and realize opportunities left on the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
(9-6), and then a takeaway. Things going from bad to worse for Argentina. Here's Canada on the break. LaRoche full head of steam. Cruising in and hits. Kept himself horizontal, created that space between he and the defender, and then was able to surge up and bury.
Obviously a talented swimmer. Good breakaway speed with the ball. Goes ball in hand, one stroke. Skips it home. Very fundamental finish there for LaRoche, who had a rough go early in the game.
Yeah.
It's good to see some redemption there. But Argentina, you gotta feel for them. Call timeout, set up the set piece, and then immediately turn it over and turn to that goal. That's a massive 2-point swing at a really crucial point in the game.
Yeah, no doubt a frustrating moment. And for a team that was going to need most everything to click to pull off this victory, they're now in a 4-goal hole. Big windup and a save. McKnight, center cage, able to knock it down. Almost a steal. Good hands from Ginny. But he hung on too long, and now he'll be excluded.
Little extra activity there for Ginny. Puts it away.
Power play now for Canada. And D'Souza rips it, and now the Canadians starting to pull away here. 11-6 with 1:28 left in the third.
We knew we'd call his name and cap number a couple more times. Genie excluded for Argentina. Player advantage opportunity for Canada. And D'Souza so smooth, puts it away. No field blockers in place to defend that shot. And what was once a 1-goal game just 6 minutes ago is now a 5-goal lead for Canada.
7-6 at the break, and now Canada has turned it on with a 4-0 run to start this third quarter. Backhand, and McKnight's ready. And John, you've offered a couple of kind of tips for those on the way up in the water polo world, and we know fatigue is a factor here for Argentina, but one of the things that they've got to work on a fundamental is when you're excluded, get out and get to that corner, because had Canada not scored a couple of times here, now you're putting yourself down on offense for no reason.
You lose another possession, as we see inside here. Good play from Salas.
Nice to force the ball under. But that's one of those effort things, right? It's not really even a skill. It's just go to the corner and be ready.
It's an effort and mentality, and to reference that, a rule that started out in Europe for 12 and under, 10 and under water polo was to have young players, when they are excluded, go to the box and get to immediately come back in the game. And many have questioned, why does that rule exist? And USA Water Polo, we picked that up for our 10 and 12 and unders just a few years ago. And lots of people questioning, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, that's the lesson that we want young athletes around the world to learn early on. When you're excluded, sprint to the box, get there quick. And the way to put that in their head early in their life is, if you sprint there early, you'll get it right back in the game.
Salas with the stop on D'Souza to end the third, but the damage done here by the Canadians in this third quarter. They have built an 11-6 lead in this bronze medal match. We step aside and return with the fourth and final here live in Clearwater.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
Fourth quarter has begun with the sprint. Canada there. And for the better part of 2.5 quarters, John, we talked about what Argentina could do to give themselves a position or an opportunity to win this game, put themselves in a position to win this game. And that third quarter, the wheels kind of fell off the wagon.
Yeah, just couldn't hang on. And fatigue is definitely a factor. We talked about the 30-meter course. A lot of these young athletes don't even have a lot of pools in their communities that can set up a course this long. As Jerkovic draws the exclusion inside.
And an exclusion on Argentina. It's on Matthias. Power play to Canada. Opening moments, fourth quarter, bronze medal match here at the UANA Junior Pan American Championship. I thought that might have been a lob. It was kind of in between a pass to Jerkovic and a lob, and nobody receives it except for the keeper.
Canada's giving themselves some breathing room to try some new things on offense. And it's tough, Greg. I mean, really, you look at this beautiful facility here and a 30-meter course that's set up. A lot of pools, you cannot set up a 30-meter course. And that's a difficult thing to put into play to set up anywhere in the world. And so, big shot there.
That was a beauty from Santiago Correda.
Correda putting it away, and maybe there is some life for Argentina.
Shot clock to 3.
Good couple of nice hard fakes, locks. Loses Jerkovic on the field block there and puts it away.
And that stops the run here from Canada. They had taken a 7-6 game, made it 11-7 with 4 unanswered in the third. Argentina comes through here. Nice look.
Wow.
Oh, Cote from your man, D'Souza, the facilitator.
Canada showing their talent and their fitness and their conditioning level here to continue to be able to execute on offense. Cote, nice drive. Beautiful feed from D'Souza and puts it away. Ooh, right over the keeper's head, over Salas's head.
The donut there.
Cote showing that arm again. As Canada trying to take home a bronze medal here at the Junior UANA Championships.
Wave it off. Offensive away from the ball. Comes back to McKnight in Canada. Canadians on the move. LaRoche. Oh, they had Jerkovic for a moment there. He peeled off on the near side. D'Souza looking to post. He was doubled. And Argentina with the steal.
Argentina's showing some fight. Again, a long week of water polo. Big course for them to play in. They can find some energy here. They'll just have to execute on every possession.
Shot clock to 3. And Argentina will put it aside. No attempt there. Posting. Jerkovic was set up for a while. Oh, off the goalie's hand. Salas had a piece of it, but couldn't get the whole thing.
Jerkovic, the strong center from Canada, puts another one away. He's been a mismatch all week. You'd see him inside just overpowering. Ooh, Salas almost got his hand on that.
Couldn't gather enough of it to keep it out. And Canada goes up 13-7. Now in strong position for the bronze here. Coming up next, USA women will take on Puerto Rico for bronze. And then we'll follow with back-to-back gold medal matches. The women's first, Brazil and Canada, and then the men's final to close it out, Team USA and Brazil. Bad pass. Yeah. Easy takeaway there for Canada.
Coming up next, which is essentially the next bronze medal game, in a sense, the USA women against the women of Puerto Rico. Great to see Puerto Rico here competing hard all week long.
Offensive is the call as D'Souza worked inside.
USA women finding themselves in an unfamiliar place, playing for bronze in a program so accustomed to be playing for a gold medal.
Yeah, this is a real opportunity for experience for this very young team that the USA squad has sent here to Florida. Argentina getting one back on the quick delivery. Matias coming back with a score.
I like how Argentina attacks us. We talked about this earlier. They draw the exclusion. They waste no time. Attack right away. That's going to give you your highest percentage look. That's a textbook way to attack quickly on a player advantage opportunity, and it pays off.
And now a 13-8 game with 4:04 to play. And we talked about that gold medal game on the men's side. That's a rematch of a 10-10 draw earlier in the week between USA and Brazil. We'll have that game to close things out. What are you expecting in that one as we see those two get back together now, but with a lot more at stake?
I expect another one-goal game. I just don't see how either team pulls away in that one. It's the two really evenly matched teams, lots of talented athletes in the pool. Clearly the two best teams competing for the gold medal, so both deserve to be there. And I expect an exciting game. I expect a physical game, lots of passion on both sides, as these are athletes who are trying to prove their worth in the pipeline, to move up, and also potentially have their first opportunity to win a gold medal in a competition like this.
USA men and women winning this event a year ago, looking to repeat the feat here in Florida.
The way this event works every year, it's 1 year it's a youth championship, next year it's a junior championship. That's 18 and under versus kind of a 20 and under. or 17 under versus a 19 and under. And so you're going to have different athletes representing the countries every year. So the USA team that's here now isn't thinking, hey, we won last year, we got to defend it. Or the Brazil team that's here last year, oh, we lost last year, we got to avenge that loss. These are brand new athletes. That's kind of one of the fresh things about this. So an athlete here that's winning a medal, there's speaking of the Canadians in there right now, there may be athletes in there who walk away from this, could be their first international medal that they've ever won. So that's a big thing for them moving forward. The athletes competing for bronze medal in the next game or gold for the men later. This is something that personally means a lot to them. And so the old saying goes, winning breeds winning, right? So this is something that is valuable not only to the pipeline for each of these federations, but also for these athletes individually.
And it is different than at the senior level, where you will see a lot of teams from one world championship to a next, a lot of the same athletes come back and say, oh, well, we're trying to revenge that loss that we had earlier, or we're trying to repeat as champions, that sort of thing.
Right, this is more of a continuous development cycle, so see lots of fresh bodies, and that's great. It's a refreshing way to look at this and to see these athletes really competing and showing their best.
Under 3 to play here in the fourth. Lob over the top, inside, and a penalty is called. Argentina looking for the steal with Corsi, but instead it's a penalty drawn by Henning.
Henning inside, gets it done. Let's see who's going to take the penalty here.
Looks like Cote is going to be the man, although D'Souza in the picture as well. And it will be Cote to shoot. Stopped by Salas, turned away. And they may not win this one, but an exciting moment late here for Argentina.
And Salas showing his talent. He really has made a lot of great saves for his team. He's had a good week. Not getting the best defensive effort in front of him, and so having to make up for some of that, and Salas really showing his talent.
An exclusion now on Canada. That was on the far side away from the ball. And a power play here for Argentina. Laurie goes off. And the power play goal is there for Argentina and Ginny.
Ginny, I like how this kid plays. We've talked about him a couple times in the broadcast already. He's got a live arm, not afraid to shoot, does so with some confidence. Here up high in the pocket on 6-on-5, wastes no time. And bars in the low shot there. The only thing missing for Argentina in this game, Greg, was a few stops.
Yep.
You know, they found their rhythm and they found a way to start scoring the ball after a really slow start in the first quarter. But that third quarter, where they really needed to string together a couple of defensive stops, didn't happen, and they found themselves in this hole.
Inside now, Jerkovic. Wow.
Ouch.
Discarding 3 defenders and wheeling inside for the goal. And that little interaction after the fact. Second look here, what a beast.
Wow. Just a power move. Takes on 3 defenders. Argentina, Mateus didn't take lightly to that either. Gave him a little shove after the goal, but Jerkovic showing his power, his strength, his dominance in leading his team to a bronze medal here at the UANA Junior Championships.
Coming up on 90 seconds left, backhand is deflected. McKnight will have it, and Canada on their way to bronze here in 2018. Cote on the counter. He'll have a lane. Faking. And then goes across the way and out of play. Probably should have been a bit more selfish there, had an opportunity. It turns over instead. Argentina will use their final timeout with 1:10 to play in the fourth, trailing 14-9.
Definitely should have been more selfish. That's his shot, wide open. Clearly the end of the counterattack. Could have put it away, but with 1:10 left here, Canada feeling comfortable with a 5-goal lead. Argentina's got to be proud of their effort, though. They qualified for World Championships next summer. They accomplished that goal by being here, and put up a real good fight here in this bronze medal game. And in talking to their coaches, have they now? The next question is, did you develop all the athletes you wanted? Right, you've accomplished the goal of qualifying. What's this team going to look like next summer? Who are you going to bring? What's the plan between now and then to create some meaningful competition to continue this development and have a good showing at the FINA World Championships in 2019?
That is the challenge, right? You fight for these opportunities to play more and to play at a higher level, and then you get them. And now it's, okay, how do we make sure that when we show up there, we're prepared and taking advantage?
Yeah. Yeah, so much of this is just not showing up. There's so much that happens before these events to ensure some quality and some success here. And that's a challenge for a lot of these federations. Do you have the funding? Do you have the facilities? Do you have the programming needed to compete at the highest levels?
Under a minute to play in the fourth. Argentina operating here out of the timeout. Shot clock to 10. Manuel swings to Augusto. He'll have an opportunity here off the ordinary. Fakes on the shot, deals to his left, and an easy stop from McKnight as the shot clock was about to expire. Now 30 seconds to play.
About a 10-second differential, so Argentina may get one more possession to try to get their 10th goal here.
USA women and Puerto Rico to follow. We'll have that one at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Shot clock expires here on Canada. And it's back to Argentina. Timer's off, just 10 seconds left in this one. Final moments here, and a big congratulations to Canada, claiming the bronze at the 2018 UANA Junior Pan American Championship. That's the final, 14-9. Canada leaving Clearwater with some hardware. They take it 14-9. Coming up next, USA Women and Puerto Rico in about 35 minutes. We'll have that for you right here on USA Water Polo TV. For now, John Abdu, Greg Meskel signing off. Thanks for joining us here in Clearwater.